In 2018, Cornell researchers found that highly agreeable employees were 40% more likely to be passed over for promotions. The very traits that make you a beloved colleague, generosity, deference, emotional sensitivity, can become career liabilities without a key ingredient: assertiveness. It's a startling paradox. The same traits that earn you praise as a team player, being helpful, accommodating, and conflict-averse, may also hold you back. In a landmark study tracking 8,000 workers over a decade, organizational psychologists at Cornell University discovered that employees rated as highly agreeable were 40% more likely to be overlooked for promotions compared to their less agreeable peers. This isn't an indictment of kindness itself, but of unmitigated communion, niceness without boundaries. The research, led by Dr. Timothy Judge, reveals a disturbing pattern. Agreeable people are often perceived as warm and likable, but also as less dominant and less willing to fight for resources. In systems that reward status seeking, these perceptions can be fatal to career progress. The missing ingredient, decades of research confirm, is assertiveness, the ability to express needs, set boundaries, and advocate for oneself without aggression. To understand why niceness can backfire, we need to look back at our evolutionary past. Human beings survived through collective cooperation. Altruism, empathy, and reciprocity were selected for because they facilitated group cohesion and mutual aid. In small, stable hunter-gatherer bands, being nice was directly adaptive. It earned trust, built alliances, and ensured care in times of need. However, these same ancestral environments also had clear hierarchies and competition for resources. Assertiveness, the willingness to challenge, compete, and claim status, was equally adaptive. The optimal niche was occupied by those who could both cooperate and assert themselves. The problem today is that modern social structures have decoupled the contexts demanding cooperation from those demanding assertion. In contemporary organizations, the rewards for pure niceness are often indirect and delayed, while the costs of failing to assert oneself are immediate and tangible. In today's workplace, the disconnect is stark. A 2019 meta-analysis of 97 studies found that agreeableness was positively correlated with team performance, but negatively correlated with individual career advancement. In other words, nice people make groups function better, but they themselves often get left behind. This paradox lies at the heart of the nice guy finishes last narrative. Dr. Timothy Judge explains, agreeable people are often seen as warm and likable, but they are also perceived as less dominant, less competitive, and less willing to fight for resources. In hierarchical systems that reward status seeking, these perceptions can be fatal to career progress. The kindness that makes you a beloved colleague can become a liability when it comes to promotions, salary negotiations, and leadership opportunities. The modern workplace demands a balance that many nice people struggle to strike. Assertiveness is frequently misunderstood as aggression or pushiness, but clinical psychology defines it as the ability to express one's thoughts, feelings, and needs in a direct, honest, and appropriate manner while respecting the rights of others. It occupies the middle ground between passive submission and aggressive domination. Passive individuals avoid expressing needs and prioritize others' comfort at their own expense. Aggressive individuals express needs at others' expense and create conflict destructively. Assertive individuals, however, balance their own needs with others, engage conflict constructively, and maintain healthy self-esteem. Research consistently demonstrates that assertiveness is associated with higher self-esteem, lower anxiety, and better interpersonal relationships. It's not about being difficult, it's about being clear. Assertiveness allows you to advocate for yourself without trampling on others, creating a path to both professional success and personal well-being. A landmark 2014 study from Stanford University revealed a troubling trade-off. When participants evaluated job candidates, the assertive candidate was rated as more competent and more likely to succeed, but also as less likable. This is the likability penalty that assertive individuals, particularly women, often face. Harvard negotiation researcher Dr. Hannah Riley Bowles notes, the same behavior that signals competence in a man can signal aggression in a woman. This double bind means that women, in particular, must navigate a narrow corridor between being seen as too nice or too pushy. The penalty is real and measurable. It explains why many nice people, especially women, hesitate to assert themselves, They fear the social cost. But the research also shows that those who do assert themselves, despite the penalty, achieve higher career outcomes. The key is learning to assert in ways that minimize backlash while maximizing impact. The most compelling evidence for the nice finish last hypothesis comes from labor economics. A 2020 analysis of 20,000 workers in the United States found that each standard deviation increase in agreeableness was associated with a 6% reduction in annual earnings, even after controlling for education, experience, and industry. That's a significant financial penalty for being nice. The same study showed that assertiveness, when combined with agreeableness, actually boosted earnings and career satisfaction. The sweet spot is not pure niceness or pure assertiveness, but a balanced combination. Those who can be warm and cooperative while also standing up for their own interests earn more and report higher well-being. The data is clear. Unmitigated niceness comes with a real cost, but assertiveness alone isn't the answer either. The magic lies in the balance between the two. So how do you find the balance between being nice and being assertive? The research points to a few key strategies. First, practice strategic niceness. Be generous and cooperative, but set clear boundaries around your time, energy, and priorities. Second, learn to say no without guilt. Assertiveness is not about being rude, it's about being honest about your limits. Third, frame your assertiveness in terms of shared goals. Instead of saying, "I need a raise," say, "I believe my contributions warrant a raise, and I want to continue delivering value to the team." This balances self-advocacy with collaboration. Finally, remember that assertiveness is a skill that can be learned and practiced. Start small, express a preference in a low-stakes situation, and build from there. The goal is not to stop being nice, but to be nice with strength. If you found this exploration of assertiveness and kindness valuable, consider reflecting on your own balance. The goal isn't to stop being nice, it's to be nice with strength.